Do you really need to lift heavy weights to build muscle? Because if you believe that bigger weights automatically mean bigger muscles, you might be making muscle growth harder than it needs to be. You see people loading up barbells, grinding out ugly reps, and chasing heavier numbers every week. But here's the surprising part. Your muscles don't know how much the weight weighs. They respond to tension, effort, and the quality of the stimulus. So does that mean you should ditch heavy weights completely? Not so fast. The real answer is more interesting. Think about two lifters doing dumbbell curls. One uses a weight so heavy that he has to swing his entire body just to move it. The other uses a lighter weight, controls every inch of the movement, and takes the set close to muscular failure. Who is actually giving the biceps the better reason to grow? That question exposes one of the biggest misunderstandings in muscle building. Heavy isn't automatically effective, and light isn't automatically effective either. What matters is how you use the resistance. Let's break it down, from the beginner mistake to the intermediate approach, and finally, the advanced strategy. The first mistake is simple, thinking that the number on the weight stack is the goal. Imagine you're doing a dumbbell lateral raise. You grab weights that are too heavy, your torso starts leaning, your shoulders shrug, your arms swing upward. You finish the set and think, that was intense. But intensity isn't always the same thing as effective tension. The heavier the weight becomes, the more your body may recruit other muscles or use momentum to complete the movement. It's like trying to open a stuck door by throwing your entire body against it. You're generating force, but you're not necessarily controlling where that force goes. The same thing happens with curls, lateral raises, chest flies, and even some pressing movements. If the target muscle loses its job, adding weight can actually reduce the quality of the stimulus. And that's your first light bulb moment. The goal isn't to move the heaviest object possible. The goal is to make the target muscle work hard enough to adapt. So now you might think, okay, then I'll just use really light weights. That's where people make the opposite mistake. If the weight is so light that you can casually perform 40 or 50 repetitions without getting close to fatigue, the set probably isn't challenging enough to provide a strong growth stimulus. So we have two extremes. Too heavy, your technique breaks down and other muscles take over. Too light, the set may end before the target muscle has been challenged enough. The sweet spot is somewhere in between. For many muscle-building exercises, you can build muscle across a fairly wide range of repetitions as long as the set is sufficiently challenging and your technique remains solid. That's why a moderately heavy set of controlled curls can build muscle, and a heavier set can build muscle too. The difference is not simply the weight. It's how close you get to your actual muscular limit while maintaining good execution. So here's the first practical rule. Choose a weight you can control. Let's use a dumbbell curl. Start with your feet stable. Keep your torso relatively still. Let your arms hang naturally. Brace your body just enough to prevent unnecessary movement. Now curl the dumbbell without throwing your shoulder forward. Squeeze the biceps near the top. Then lower the weight under control. Don't just drop it. That lowering phase matters because your muscles are still producing force while they're lengthening. And here's the important part. As you approach the end of the set, the repetitions should become difficult. But difficult doesn't mean chaotic. Your final reps should look like your first reps, just slower and harder. That's the difference between training hard and simply moving heavy weight. If heavy weights aren't the entire answer, how do you keep progressing? This is where progressive overload comes in. Your body adapts to repeated training, so eventually the same workout becomes easier. You need to gradually increase the challenge. And that doesn't always mean adding 5 or 10 pounds. You could add a few repetitions. You could improve your range of motion. You could slow down the eccentric portion. You could improve your technique. Or eventually, you could increase the weight. Think of muscle growth like climbing a staircase. You don't need to jump from the bottom to the top. You just need to keep taking the next productive step. Progress doesn't have to mean ego lifting.